gardener. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I am passionate about the soil. I love to grow my own food. A changemaker is anyone who thinks up ideas and who takes action on them. So anyone who feels a bout of inspiration, I guess, and then actually does something about it. So I'm constantly feeling inspired, and I find sitting in the gardens or sitting in nature really helps me with that process. So I sit in the gardens, something comes to me, and then I just take action, and I can't make myself stop until I feel like the project's complete. So I started teaching vermiculture to students in grade 4 primarily, but any elementary age students. I teach about vermiculture. And it was actually at one of those, just this last winter, one of the students there said, well, the reason I love worms is because it can aid climate change. And I said, what? But the kid said, the worm eats the food, it poops out humus, which is the biodegraded material, and that humus then captures carbon from the atmosphere and can turn your backyard into a carbon sink. Now I have this lofty goal of making Calgary into a carbon sink. I'm really inspired. And I think that this is a really easy way to tackle climate change, to make this carbon sink idea possible. Grow Food Calgary is my latest endeavor, and it's teaching Calgarians how to grow their own food. I've heard just time and time again Calgarians say things like, it's not possible to grow food in Calgary, we have such a terrible climate, and I just want to change that whole mentality. I want people to know that they can grow things in Calgary and they can have great success growing things here. The participants are going to have access to the teachers for that whole 6 months so that we can kind of answer questions along the way. And in that program, we're going to talk about sustainable gardening. And that's what I love, is whenever somebody grows their own food, the real benefit, not just that you get to harvest it in your backyards, but also that you're respecting the soil because you're seeing what's happening. You're putting stuff into the soil, and you will not dump chemicals into the soil if it's for your own family. So you're going to use practices that will naturally be sustainable. People are realizing that we're not getting our food from sources that are sustainable, and the big agricultural practices these days are really damaging our soils. I always think of greenhouse gases as the result of driving cars, but what we don't realize is that we can then return this carbon back to the soil, and as a result it boosts our soils. So this is better for our soils, it's better for our atmosphere, it's better for the people and the animals and the plants living in this space. And now with this Grow Food Calgary, we're hoping to teach 150 new Calgarians how to grow their own food. So that's a big one for me.